My family looked perfect to the outside world. My grandfather founded Madden Ellsworth's Medical Center in 1952, a landmark in Boston's medical community. My father, Vincent, was the chief of cardiothoracic surgery at the hospital, a brilliant surgeon with a strong reputation in the field. My mother, Diane, came from the Ellsworth family and controlled the hospital foundation's $180 million in donations. She was elegant, strong-willed, and devoted to philanthropy. But underneath lay a fierce need for control. From a young age, my life path was planned by my parents. I was to become a cardiothoracic surgeon like my father and inherit the family's medical legacy. But deep down, what I truly wanted was to be a pediatrician, to protect innocent little lives. That conflict came to a head the first time I announced that I had matched into a pediatric residency at Boston Children's Hospital. My father's disapproval and my mother's silence hung over me like a heavy storm cloud, making it hard to breathe. An even bigger storm was coming. I met Ethan in October 2023 during my emergency medicine rotation. He was a 35-year-old attending in the ER, confident and magnetic. We worked together to resuscitate a 52-year-old man in cardiac arrest. And in that tense, high-stakes moment, I felt drawn to him. 3 months later, we began dating in secret. Ethan grew up in a working-class family in Pittsburgh. His father worked in a steel mill. His mother cleaned houses to make ends meet. He had earned college through military scholarships, served 4 years as a combat medic, and then went to medical school under the GI Bill. He had been divorced and had a 6-year-old son. Liam, these were flaws in my family's eyes, so I never told my parents about our relationship. In February 2024, I discovered I was pregnant. The arrival of this child brought both joy and fear. I knew it would shatter my family's carefully constructed facade and utterly destroy my parents' expectations. But Ethan and I decided to keep the baby, believing that love could overcome everything. On June 15th, during the family celebration following my medical school graduation, my nightmare began. I wore a $38 Navy maternity dress from Target, mustering courage to walk through the front door. The cold look in my mother's eyes the moment she saw my bump pierced me like a knife. At dinner, when I summoned the courage to announce that I was 14 weeks pregnant and that Ethan Cole was the father, my father stood up in anger, throwing me out of the house, declaring I was no longer part of the Madden family. My mother was even colder, telling me to sleep elsewhere, handing me a split insurance card and a handwritten note. You made your choice, bear the consequences, don't come back. Don't embarrass us again. Homeless and penniless, I was at rock bottom. 2 weeks later, a bill from their lawyer pushed me further into despair. My parents demanded I repaid $280,000 in medical school tuition and threatened to report me for fraud on my FAFSA application. Apparently, years earlier, my father had instructed me to mark no parental support on FSA to qualify for low-interest federal loans while secretly paying my tuition themselves. Now they sought to use that lie to destroy my career. Desperate to prove my innocence, I began gathering evidence. With Ethan's support, I uncovered secrets my parents had hidden within the foundation. The funds my mother managed meant for hospital projects, scholarships, and medical research had been misappropriated over $1 million used to buy vacation homes, collect classic cars, and invest in stocks. I also contacted Patricia Delgado, a former foundation employee who had been fired for discovering their misconduct. She provided a USB drive containing loan documents, transfer records, and board meeting minutes. Armed with the evidence, I confronted my parents. On August 3, I rented a conference room at WeWork and met with them and their lawyer. I presented all the proof, demanding they withdraw the lawsuit, cancel the debt, and never interfere with my life. Again, or I would go public with the evidence. They tried to argue and even threatened to countersue, but I was resolute. When negotiations failed, my parents still sued me. I didn't back down. I sent copies of the evidence to the FBI, IRS, State Attorney General, and the hospital board. Soon, federal investigators raided the hospital, exposing my parents' crimes. They were suspended, their reputations destroyed. Ultimately, they reached a plea deal, ordered to return $1.5 million to the foundation, serve 3 years probation, complete 500 hours of community service, and permanently barred from nonprofit leadership. Through the storm, I not only preserved my career and my child, but also gained true love and family. In January 2025, my daughter Claire was born, bringing endless joy to Ethan and me. In October 2026, we held a simple wedding, our small family warm and happy. By 2027, I was completing my pediatric residency and had been accepted into a pediatric cardiology fellowship, moving step by step toward my dream. Looking back, I never regretted my choices. I broke free from the chains of my family, escaping unreasonable expectations and control, creating a life of love and freedom for myself and my daughter. If your family ever treated love as a transaction, forcing you to lose yourself to please them, I want you to know you have the courage to leave and the power to choose your own life. Because true life doesn't require pain or compromise to be worth